Psalm 23, a psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He takes me to lush pastures. He leads me to refreshing waters. He restores my strength. He leads me down the right path for the sake of his reputation. Even when I must walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff reassure me. You prepare a feast before me in plain sight of my enemies. You refresh my head with oil. My cup is completely full. Surely your goodness and faithfulness will pursue me all my days, and I will live in the Lord's house for the rest of my life. All right. Forge, the only thing that's probably shouldn't be on stream is the initial login authorization in your account. Yeah, I was just thinking that, just due to privacy for yourself. And then at the bottom of the dashboard, after you log in, if you choose to add it to Discord server as well, then you probably do not want to put your Discord channel IDs live on. Yeah, I was thinking some of that after I mentioned it. The rest of the dashboard stuff, that totally fine. No price. So it's kind of like, just create the account, but don't use it on some level might be the best approach, and then you can guide me through everything. Okay, let's talk about that more. All right, so a Psalm of David, we know this is a common phrase, so it is a Psalm of David or for David or to David. It can be any one of those things. So, but since David is a shepherd, this is often thought of one that David probably wrote. He is equating his relationship with God as God has taken care of him, as he has taken care of sheep. And as a shepherd who takes care of his sheep, there is no lack if you are a good shepherd. So David here is setting up, in some ways, the imagery of God as the good shepherd. So the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. There we go. Hands down. Could be the end of it. He's done. But no, he wants to tell you of it. He takes me to lush pastures. He leads me to refreshing waters. Now, here's part of the problem. Our imagery, at least mine, as North Americans with giant farmland and the Great Plains state, that's what I'm picturing. I am picturing an entire valley covered with a lawn or with a fields of amber waves of grain. He's talking lush pastures. There ain't no lush pastures like that where David is at. There's just going to be vegetation in small amounts that are going to be there. It's not going to be like any of those images. It's going to be a lot less. But he's still counting it as being so lush and powerful to him. It is glorious. When you are in a place that he is not wanting anything, there's enough to eat. That's the lushness he's talking about. And you lead me to refreshing waters. This is going to be flowing waters, not stagnant waters. There is enough to drink. So it is. So living water is flowing water versus dead water, which is a stagnant pool. You're going to take me to refreshing waters. The waters are going to be a source of life for me. So I have all of the food that I need. I need all the water I need. What more do I need? Well, he restores my strength. So when I have had to wander, when I am weak, when I am dealing with things, he is the one who is restoring my strength. More than that, he leads me down the righteous path for the sake of his reputation. Why is God invested in David? For God's own sake. It is for his own sake that he is going to do these things. He is leading me the right way for his sake. Like, why do I want my kids to do the right things? Yes, there's a level of which it is for their sake, but there's also, it's for my own sake that I want them to do right. Because I want them to be blessed. They are my children. I want to do it for my own sake as well as for theirs. I do believe it's best for them, but I'm also doing it for my own sake. So I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but when I equate things sometimes to my kids, it helps me to understand things. So I want them in there, and I want it for the sake of my reputation that my kids do what's right. Even if I must walk through the darkest valley. So even though times where I'm not in the place where God is leading me, and there is a time where I have to go through a dark valley to get to the next place of pasture, he's going to lead me through it. I do not fear when I am in there. I'm in no danger because he's with me. Why do I not fear? He's got his rod and his staff that they reassure me. Let's see if they have a footnote here. I've seen and heard plenty of sermons talking about the difference between the rod and the staff. Let's see what they have. Nakam, when used with a human object, means comfort, console. But here, within the metaphorical framework, it refers to the way in which a shepherd uses the implements to ensure the sheep of his presence and calm their nerves. The underlying reality is the emotional stability provided the psalmist during the times of threatening situations. I wouldn't go with emotional stability. That's a kind of a weird phrasing of it, but that's me. So the shepherd is the place of reassurance. Now, he's switching the metaphor. He is still talking about what God provides and what God does. God is the good shepherd. He has used the metaphor of the shepherd. Now he is going to switch the metaphor in some way because it doesn't fully make sense if he is the sheep and preparing a feast before me in the plain sight of my enemies. But in the same way that we go through the darkest valley, and you are going to be with me in the presence of my enemies is also a place that's a dark valley. In plain sight of my enemies, you refresh my head with oil. My cup is completely full. Surely your goodness and faithfulness will pursue me all of my days, and I will live in the house of the Lord the rest of my life. So, what are you giving me? You're anointing me with oil. Like, it is the blessing. That is what oil is. It is a sign of blessing. My cup is completely full. My cup runneth over. Like, I lack nothing. Again, we're getting the motif of there is no lack. There is security. Surely goodness and mercy is all often how it is phrased. And I actually knew a family where the first daughter was named Shirley, the second daughter was named Goodness, and the third one was named Mercy. So it was Shirley, Goodness, and Mercy were the three sisters. Will pursue me all my days. They follow me all my days. They are like, I can't escape God's goodness and his faithfulness. They are with me. God's faithfulness and his goodness pursue me as if I am something to be captured the way an enemy would. God's goodness is so good, it pursues me. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord the rest of my life, all my days. Like, in the house of God is not a literal thing. It is, I am under the household of God. I am in the family. I dwell there. I have the freedom. I have the banner of protection over me. All my days, I'm in the household of my God. I mean, this is so beautiful. And I know we know it's beautiful and people love it, but you can just keep breaking it down into so many different levels.